The day the world almost changed forever. Could World War III already be closer than we think? It is exactly 3:17 a.m. Deep beneath the waters of the Pacific Ocean, an American submarine receives an encrypted emergency message. At the very same moment, Russia's early warning radar systems detect unusual military activity. Chinese military satellites begin tracking a series of fighter aircraft taking off across the Pacific. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, Israel's air defense systems are placed on high alert. Not a single missile has been launched. No country has declared war. Yet, the world's most powerful militaries have all raised their alert levels at the same time. While billions of people sleep peacefully, decisions that could shape the future of humanity are being made behind closed doors within minutes. But what if? This is exactly how history begins. Humanity has experienced this kind of silence before. In 1914, the streets of Europe were full of people going to work. Children were walking to school. Cities appeared as lively and peaceful as ever. No one imagined that, within weeks, millions of soldiers would be marching toward the battlefields. The same was true in 1939. Many believed the growing crisis would be resolved through diplomacy. Instead, the world entered one of the darkest chapters in human history. History has repeatedly shown that the greatest disasters often emerge when people feel the safest. Today, however, the world stands on an even more fragile and complex balance. On one side stands the United States, the world's most powerful military force. On another, Russia, with one of the world's largest nuclear arsenals and extensive military capabilities. Then comes China, rapidly expanding its military while strengthening its economic influence. And in the Middle East, Israel, a key regional military power with one of the world's most advanced defense systems. Alongside them are European nations, NATO allies, Iran, North Korea, and many other regional powers, all playing significant roles in today's global security landscape. None of these nations publicly wants a large-scale war. Yet history reminds us of one uncomfortable truth. Wars do not always begin because leaders want them. Sometimes they begin because events spiral beyond anyone's control. In recent years, the world has witnessed one crisis after another. The war in Eastern Europe. Escalating tensions across the Middle East. Military activity around the Taiwan Strait. A radar image interpreted incorrectly. A communication blackout lasting only a few seconds. Or even an AI-generated fake video. Could unexpectedly push international tensions to a dangerous new level. Imagine this. American and Chinese warships sailing only a few hundred meters apart in the Pacific Ocean. Russian fighter jets and NATO aircraft conducting patrols in neighboring airspace over the Black Sea. Israel closely monitoring every movement along its borders. Each nation believes it is protecting its own security. But one mistaken judgment, one technical malfunction, or one military maneuver misunderstood by the other side, could transform a local incident into an international crisis within minutes. Today's leaders may not even have hours to respond. In some scenarios, they may have only minutes to make decisions that could affect the entire world. That is why many experts believe the greatest danger of the future is not the destructive power of weapons themselves, but the rapidly shrinking amount of time available to make life-or-death decisions. Adding another layer of uncertainty is artificial intelligence. Today, millions of pieces of information are analyzed every second. Satellite imagery, radar signals, intelligence reports. All processed by increasingly sophisticated algorithms. But what if one of those systems generates a false warning? History has already recorded several moments when careful human judgment prevented catastrophic mistakes. As military decision-making becomes more automated, experts continue to debate how much responsibility should remain in human hands. Meanwhile, economic competition is becoming increasingly intense. The technological rivalry between the United States and China. Competition over global energy resources. Semiconductor production. Rare earth minerals. Strategic maritime trade routes. All have become central to global power politics. Economic sanctions, trade restrictions, and disruptions to international supply chains may not be acts of war, but they can make international relations far more fragile. And now, another battlefield has emerged. Space. Hundreds of military satellites silently orbit the Earth. Some maintain global communications. Some monitor missile launches. Others can detect movements measured in mere centimeters. Perhaps the first major conflict of the future will begin not on land, not at sea, but silently, high above our planet. Yet despite these unsettling possibilities, one crucial emergency diplomatic channels, international negotiations, and mediation efforts have prevented countless misunderstandings from turning into catastrophic conflicts. For that reason, today's geopolitical tensions do not automatically mean that a global war is inevitable. Still, history continues to ask us one haunting question. What if one day, a confrontation in the Pacific, military escalation in the Black Sea, renewed violence in the Middle East, and a massive global cyber attack all occur on the very same day? How would the world's leaders respond? Would diplomacy prevail once again? Or would humanity face its greatest test yet? Perhaps future history books will remember this era as the moment when humanity successfully avoided another world war. Or perhaps they will tell the story of how everything began with a single event that almost no one considered important. Because perhaps the most frightening truth of all is this. The first headline that changes the course of history is often the one that seems the least significant. What do you think? Let's hope such a war never happens. Is the world truly standing on the edge of another global conflict? Or will humanity once again use the lessons of history to prevent the unthinkable?